Now we study remain important cell organelles of living things. Now Golgi complex. Golgi complex is also important cell organelle in the cell. It is made up from 5 to 8 hollow and flat sacs placed parallel to each other, and such sacs are called as cisternae. All such sacs are filled with different enzymes. The proteins coming from endoplasmic reticulum enclosed in vesicles, and those vesicles come towards Golgi complex via cytoplasm. Now all vesicles, they are filled with proteins fused with the formation phase of Golgi membranes. Now you see the formation phase of a Golgi membrane. This is the formation phase of a Golgi membrane. Now we also see the parallel flat sacs, that all parallel flat sacs are known as cisternae. Now vesicles fuse with formation phase of the Golgi membranes and empty their contents in the cisternae. Vesicles are fully filled with proteins, and such filled vesicles fuse with the formation phase of Golgi complex or Golgi membranes and empty their contents in the cisternae. As the proteins passes through the all cisternae, they are chemically modified with the help of enzymes. That is, all cisternaes filled with different types of enzymes. So when proteins passes through the cisternae, that time that chemically modified with the help of enzymes, and such modified content or modified chemical are again packed in the vesicles. Now such vesicles are exit from the maturation phase of Golgi complex. Now this is the maturation phase of Golgi complex, and that vesicles fully filled with modified proteins, they are exit from the maturation phase of Golgi complex. Thus, the cisternae work like a packing department that packs and distributes substances. Now, the functions of Golgi complex. Golgi complex is a secretory organ of cell. It modifies, sorts, and packs materials synthesized in the cell. Golgi complex also modifies, sorts, and packs materials synthesized in the cell. Materials such as enzymes, mucus, proteins, pigments, and dispatch them various targets like a plasma membrane, lysosome, and various uh, cell organelles. Golgi complex also produces vacuoles and secretory vesicles. It helps in the formation of plasma membrane as well as lysosomes. Golgi complex is mainly composed of flat sacs placed parallel to each other, and all such flat sacs are known as cisternae, and then flat sac that flat sacs are fully filled with enzymes. The proteins coming from endoplasmic reticulum, that proteins filled with the vesicles or enclosed with vesicles, when vesicles fuses or fuse to the formation phase of Golgi membranes. That time they empty their contents in the cisternae. Now, all cisternae filled with the different enzymes. By use of such enzymes, the content modified and again packed in the vesicles. And such packed vesicles exit from the maturation phase of Golgi complex. This is the important structure as well as function of Golgi complex. Now, another second important cell organelle, name of that cell organelle is lysosomes. Can you tell? Can you tell or please tell me what happens to the agricultural waste after a few days when it is dumped in a compost pit? When we dumped agricultural waste in a compost pit after some days, that total agricultural waste decompose and to form compost. Such compost increase the fertility of soil. When fertility of soil increased, we get higher yield. This is a structure or figure of a lysosome. A lysosome has a very simple structure. Due to various metabolic activities in the cell, organic waste is generated, and all such organic waste digest by lysosomes. Lysosomes are simple single membrane bound sac filled with digestive enzymes. The structure of lysosome is very simple. Lysosome is a single membrane bound sac filled with digestive enzymes. Lysosome digests organic waste material that generated in the cell. Functions of lysosomes: immune system. It destroys various bacteria and viruses that attack the cell. That is various harmful viruses and bacteria. When they attack to cell, that time lysosome destroys such harmful virus and bacteria. Demolition squads. Lysosome also destroy worn out cellular organelles and organic debris. Now, third function is suicide bags. When a cell becomes old or is damaged, lysosome burst and enzymes digest their own cell. When a cell becomes old or damaged, lysosome bursts and enzyme digest their own cells. During starvation, lysosome digests stored proteins, fats. Now, the structure of lysosome is another important cell organelle is mitochondria. Please tell me which type of energy is required to run the fans, computers, and electric bulb. Electric energy is required to run the fans, computers, and electric bulbs. Such energy is produced in hydroelectric power station, in thermal power station, as well as also in atomic power stations. We see the figure of mitochondria. Inner membrane, outer membrane, cristae, as well as matrix. These are the important parts in the mitochondria. Each cell requires energy to complete various functions, and this energy is produced in the mitochondria. So, mitochondria is also known as the powerhouse of cell. When we observe the structure of mitochondria under the electron microscope, a mitochondria is seen a double membrane structure. That is, the mitochondria is covered by a double membrane structure. This is the outer membrane of mitochondria, and this is the inner membrane of mitochondria. The outer membrane of mitochondria is porous and inner membrane is deeply folded. The deeply folded inner membrane or the deeply folds are known as cristae. The inner cavity of mitochondria is filled with proteinaceous gel-like matrix, and such matrix contains ribosomes, phosphates, granules, and DNA. Therefore, mitochondria can produce its own proteins with the help of enzymes. Mitochondria oxidize carbohydrates and fats in the cell. With the help of enzymes, mitochondria oxidize carbohydrates and fats in the cell. The energy released in this process is stored in the mitochondria in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Plant cells have a less mitochondria than animal cells. Functions of mitochondria to produce energy-rich compound ATP, synthesis of proteins, carbohydrates, lipids by using the energy in ATP. Mitochondria is made up from a double layer or double membrane, outer membrane as well as the inner membrane. Inner membrane is deeply folded and such folds are known as cristae. The inner cavity of mitochondria is filled with proteinaceous gel like a matrix. Cell requires energy to complete the various functions. Mitochondria provide energy to the cell. This energy is produced by mitochondria. So mitochondria is also known as the powerhouse of cell. Another cell organelle is vacuoles. Vacuoles are also known as storage sac because they store solid as well as liquid substances. Vacuoles have any no vacuoles do not have any typical size. The structure of vacuoles changes according to the need of the cell. Now, the structure of vacuoles is also simple. Vacuoles are bound by a single membrane. We see the figure of vacuoles. Vacuoles are the storage sac of cell and they stores solid or liquid substance. They don't have any typical size. The structure of vacuoles changes according to the need of cell, and vacuoles are bound by a single membrane or single layer. Functions of vacuoles. To maintain osmotic pressure of a cell. Vacuoles maintain osmotic pressure of a cell. Now we already know that osmosis. We already know that osmosis. Osmosis means the traveling of water from a part with more water to a part with less water. Through a selectively permeable membrane. A first function of vacuoles to maintain the osmotic pressure of cell and to store metabolic byproducts and end products such as glycogen, proteins, water. In animal cell, vacuoles store waste products and food, while in plant cell, vacuoles are full of cell sap and provide turgidity as well as rigidity to the cell. Amoeba is a single cellular animal. In amoeba, vacuole stores food before digestion. Other cell organelle, name of other cell organelle is plastids. We already seen different parts of plants, different parts of trees And all such differentiated parts got different colors. Why are plants leaves green, flowers red, yellow, orange, or blue? Which organ provides different color to different parts of plant? Name of that organ is plastid. Plastid have a double membrane and are two types. There are two types of plastids such as leucoplasts and chromoplasts. Leucoplast means white or colorless plastids. Chromoplasts means colored plastids. And chloroplast also include in chromoplast. Chloroplast get converted into another types or other type of chromoplast. For example, raw green tomato turn red due to breakdown of chlorophyll and the synthesis of lycopene. Now we see the structure of chloroplast. Chloroplast or chlorophyll present in green leaves of plant. Chloroplast is an important part of leaves because photosynthesis processes totally depend on chloroplast. Chlorophyll present in the chloroplast, such chlorophyll traps solar energy and converts into chemical energy. Storm also is an important part of chloroplast. Such a storm contains enzymes, DNA, ribosomes, and carbohydrates. All such chemicals, enzymes, DNA, ribosomes, and carbohydrates that are necessary for photosynthesis. Orange, for example, carrot contain carotene pigment. Plant got yellow color due to xanthophyll pigment. Chloroplast converts solar energy to chemical energy. That is due to chloroplasts. All plants produce their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Chromoplast provide or give different colors to the flowers and fruits. Leucoplasts are involved in the synthesis and storage of food like starch, oil, and proteins. Mitochondria and plastids can produce proteins as well as replicate themselves as they have their own DNA and ribosomes. That is, mitochondria and plastids can produce proteins as well as they replicate themselves. Now, we studied all important organelles of cell. You must be understand to know that functions in plants and animal cells are taking place smoothly due to the cell organelles. In animal cell and plant cells, taking place smoothly due to the cell organelles. Such developed cells are called as eukaryotic cells. And that eukaryotic cells are present in the highly evolved unicellular and multicellular animals as well as plants. Now we are going to discuss the difference between eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. The size of eukaryotic cell is in between 5 and 100 micrometer. Size of prokaryotic cells is in between 1 to 10 micrometer. More than one chromosomes is in eukaryotic cell. Only one chromosome is in prokaryotic cell. Well-defined nucleus with nuclear membrane, nucleolus and nucleoplasm is present in eukaryotic cell. Nucleoid resembling nucleus in prokaryotic cell. Mitochondria and plastids are present in eukaryotic cells. But there is no membrane bound cell organelles in prokaryotic cell. Example of a eukaryotic cell, that is eukaryotic cell present in highly evolved unicellular as well as multicellular plants and animals. Example of a prokaryotic cell is bacteria. Tell me answers of some questions. Now first question is, I am ATP producing factory. Mitochondria is ATP producing factory. So mitochondria is also known as a powerhouse of cell. I am a single layered but maintains cellular osmotic pressure. Name of that organelle is vacuole. Have a body resembling net. Endoplasmic reticulum. I am a chemical factory of the cell. Chloroplast. Leaves are green because of me. Answer of this question is also chloroplast. तर इथे आपला सेल अँड सेल ऑर्गनेल्स हा चॅप्टर पूर्णपणे संपलेला आहे. तुम्ही ह्या पाठाचं एक्सरसाइज पूर्ण करणार आहात आणि मला दाखवणार आहात. आणि काही डाउट्स आले असतील, काही अडचणी आल्या असतील तर नक्की विचारा.